Okay folks, back here at the video center for TableSoccerUSA.com, TableSoccerUSA.com Productions here, video productions. We have Zach Walker, our national champion again, and this time we're going to talk about game situations. How do we kick off the game? How do free kicks occur? How corner kicks made, and which figures you move, goal kicks, etc. So I'm going to pass straight on to Zach. Take it away, Zach.
Yeah, thank you. Well, when I'm explaining the game to newcomers and teaching them, I often compare it to soccer. If you don't know a lot of the rules of soccer, I strongly encourage trying to learn some of them, because while there's some rules in here that are different, the game obviously, as you can see, is based around the sport of soccer, or football as they call it in Europe. With a kickoff, similar to soccer, basically the ball will start at the center of the field, you nominate a person to kick it off, and you flick it into play. Similar to soccer, you can't kick the ball off to yourself and then just start running with it. So after the initial player that kicks it off flicks it in, then a different player would have to then flick and touch the ball. So when starting on defense, none of the players can be inside of the center circle, none of the defending players. Everyone must be outside, so that kind of prevents the defense from throwing any in there. Kind of moving on to another situation in restarts. Just like I said in soccer, we have goal kicks, corner kicks, throw-ins, free kicks. Subbuteo has all of those various restarts. Before we get into kind of how those occur, for a throw-in or a flick-in as you call it, similar to soccer, there's one person that's going to throw it in. So in Subbuteo you would nominate who that person is, and then you would then elect to take a positional flick, as it's called, with any figure on here. So this is a great tactical opportunity to send a figure forward or send a figure back. So for example, I would maybe send this person forward to get some more into the attack, and then Paul on defense would be then allowed one defensive flick. Again, these are separate from actually playing the ball, they're just used for positional purposes. But after that is done, you are then able to flick the ball into play, and again, Paul would then be allowed a defensive flick after I made my offensive flick, which he would take, and then after that you would kind of play as normal.
A couple of things there with the throw-in is, in this rule with the throw-in, the game actually is at a pause after Zach has taken his throw-in flick, and I definitely have the right to a defensive flick, so it's almost like there's a stop and I can make a flick. In every situation that's particular to a throw-in, so I make my flick as a defensive block. One other relatively minor rule, but still very important, is that the figure that is taking the throw-in cannot touch the line here. It must be behind the line. The ball intersects the line, the figure must be behind. So this, for example, if you want to go down the line, would not be a legal throw-in. Players, by the way, can play a throw-in where they can also move their throw-in figure and almost glance. It's a very typical way of advancing a figure to the shooting line. They would flick, and the player would go in an advanced position. May help them tactically later on, but that's getting advanced tactics.
Similarly on defense, a lot of newcomers, with their positional flicks, will want to take their positional flick and put it right in front of the throw-in position, thus making it difficult. As an offender, with a restart, you always have the right to ask for distance, kind of like in soccer where you're asking for 10 yards distance. In Subbuteo we basically use two fingers. So if this guy's in your way and it's impossible to kind of flick it in, you could certainly request to move distance. So
very good. Okay. Should we move on to the corner kicks or free kicks?
Free kicks, absolutely. Yep. So when a foul occurs, and we can go over the various ways a foul occurs a little later, there would be a free kick. So essentially, just like in soccer, where the offense occurred is where the free kick would be taken. You would again, like a throw-in, nominate one person to take the free kick, and then you would be able to take another positional flick, with the defense being allowed one again. One large difference between this and a throw-in, as Paul pointed out, is after you flick it in, you do not have to wait for the defender to make their positional flick, or to make their defensive flick. So a lot of people get that confused between throw-ins. So whereas after you flicked it in with the throw-in, you would have to wait, here you could just kind of start to play really quick and catch them off guard. Okay. So that would pretty much how a foul free kick would be taken.
One other point with the free kick, just like the throw-in and of course the kickoff, just like regular soccer, you cannot take a free kick to yourself with the same figure, so the three flick rule does not apply. Also with a throw-in, you cannot throw in to your own figure, you must use another one directly after that. Okay, thanks, Zach. Maybe we'll stop there and come back to corners and to throw and to some of the rules. Thank you.